So this video was about my art and Lowry's art. Now, when I went to university, I loved the whole learning experience. I attended lectures on various artists, and one artist who stood out to me was Lowry. Now, I used to think Lowry's art was not very good. That was until the art lecture on Lowry. Now, Lowry was capable of producing a high degree of art, and he was an accomplished artist. He chose to paint in his style. I also choose to paint in my style. Now, Lowry's art is nostalgic and a heritage of 20th century life of Manchester and Salford. I like to believe my art and videos are nostalgic of modern Manchester and Salford. Now, nobody paints like Lowry. He painted in oils and only used 5 colours, almost like a fresco, building thick layers of paint. And I use a wide colour palette and use acrylics. I prefer this paint as it gives me the free-flowing style I'm looking for, and I can apply my paint in thick layers to give texture. I put emphasis on dark and light using lots of colour to give a modern but nostalgic feel to the art I produce, trying to reflect modern Manchester and Salford today. Now, Lowry painted in muted greys and whites and reflected Salford in Manchester at the time. Now, Manchester in the 19th century was the hub of the British Empire exporting around the world, and workers were not regarded as human beings, but as cogs in the machinery of the Industrial Revolution, and conditions were very poor. Now, Lowry wanted to paint a story image of the people of his time. He had a selective vision and only put in what he wanted to put in, reflecting his vision of life at the time. Anyway, this is what I do in my art. I select modern Manchester and Salford scenes and try to do a story image of the people in Manchester and Salford today. Now, Lowry chose to paint his art in a primitive and childlike, naive way, just like cave paintings of primordial man coming from a primordial soup of life. He wanted to breathe life into his art. Now, Lowry's art is nostalgic of his time. I like to believe my art is nostalgic of my time. I try to bring my characters to life in the painting by the use of my croquis method in my style, allowing the characters to evolve from the paint. Lowry was an expressive painter, and so am I. I try to express Manchester and Salford in my style, allowing the characters to evolve and come to life in the paintings I produce today. I try to paint a picture of people, places, and social issues and scenes of Manchester, Salford, and beyond. I express it, I express it in my style, and it's an expression of modern life as I see it today. Now, in my work stress collection, which can be found on my website, there can be a resemblance of workers in call centres as cogs in modern machinery with aid of the computer. The I am not a number painting and corresponding artwork is a reflection of this modern day technological revolution and of people working in call centres, worker bees and cogs in the modern technological revolution. But it's only a selective vision of modern work today. Some companies are better than others. Now, I suffered from stress for decades and I use my art to overcome this. By using my website and video diaries to voice my opinions, it helps release my stress. Now, Lowry's art is a memory of past gone by with a rich heritage of Salford and Manchester nostalgia. I like to believe my art is nostalgic of modern Manchester and Salford. I try to reflect the mood of people and scenes in my videos, short stories and paintings, and put this on canvas in my style. It puts the meat on the bones of the paintings I produce. Now, I paint my art because I enjoy it and it helps to deal with my stress. So, I grew up in Moss Side, Manchester, lived in Salford for 18 years, and now reside in Northern Manchester. I'm a proud Mancunian artist and focus on cityscapes of Manchester, Salford, and beyond, and try to bring positivity to people through my artwork, short stories, and poetry. I've worked hard all my life and never taken anything for granted, from growing up in Moss Side in poverty, with my mum a cleaner and my dad a hard-working busman who tried to do their best to put food on the table. I was a street kid who learned the hard knocks of life from an early age on the streets of Moss Side. Made lots of really good friends in Moss Side and Manchester and Salford, and I hope to have made a difference in my art and short stories to everyone who knows me. I always try to turn a negative into a positive in anything I do. Now, after experiencing severe breakdowns due to my mental health over the years, and I'll continue to turn those negatives to positives and in anything I do. So I'm now finally semi-retired and I can concentrate on my art. Finally, I can live my life. I'm working to live instead of living to work. And in the past, I strove to achieve photo quality art, which I now consider the training ground for the art I produce today. Now, people can comment on my art and people can have opinions of art. Each their own taste in art, is what I say. Art is subjective to the eye of the beholder. And I used to paint photorealistic paintings, and that was a training ground for the art I produce today. I paint in an expressionist, free-flowing manner that is stress-free and relaxing to do, returning to childhood scribblings where we once innocent and free. Perfection is an unachievable goal. Even the great masters such as Michelangelo tried to achieve this. He succeeded in the Sistine Chapel but was always still striving to achieve perfection. Perfection is in the eye of the beholder as well. My art is not perfection, there's beauty in imperfection. And I guess if Lowry was my master, I would be his boisterous apprentice. So my motto is be positive and always look on the bright side of life. I also like to be creative in my way. Also follow your dreams and passion because you never know where it might take you. And yes, you create your own reality, positive or negative. I like to produce my art and stories to help relieve my stress and bring a smile to my face and bring to light social issues to bring positivity to people. And if it can bring you along the journey of positivity, that's great. So, the changing face of Manchester and Salford has been an architect's and planner's dream come true to life of bringing a brighter future for Manchester and Salford. But we must not forget our heritage and history. We must keep the old architectural buildings as reminders of our rich heritage and past. Now, the Rialto in Higher Broughton, Salford, was one such building that has been erased and replaced by a McDonald's drive-through with no soul, from a mysterious fire that architects and planners decided wasn't worth saving. And you can see skyscrapers popping up all over Salford and Manchester now. I do like the old and new coming together and bringing a vibrant modern city, but we must stop demolishing our history and heritage. Instead, embrace our history because we Mancunians and Salfordians love our cities. So, if you're interested in my art and what I have to say, check out my website, andrewallenmatthews.co.uk. So, here is my thank you to all my friends and family for putting up with my daft videos and art and also understanding that my art is therapy. After all, I am a certified nutter. Now, you've got to enjoy life because you never know when the big man or woman is going to upstairs is going to say, come in number 13, your time is up. And I take a leaf out of my dad's book now and always look at the bright side of life. So, my message to you all is be positive, guys.